Manufacturing processes are not only performed in-house, but also can be performed by outside subcontractors. DBA provides you with a subcontracting process workflow that is optimized for just-in-time manufacturing. Subcontractors are defined as outside work centers in the subcontractor screen. Here we have defined a subcontractor work center. Against the work center, we specify the supplier who will be performing the outside processing. We will now set up a sample subcontracting process in the Bills of Manufacturing screen. A typical example of a subcontract process is to take unpainted parts and send them out to a subcontractor for painting. Here we have created a BOM parent item, which is a painted wagon body. Here on the Components tab, one component has been specified for the painted wagon body, which is the unpainted wagon body. Here on the Routing tab, a process has been defined for outside painting. The process is assigned to our sample subcontractor work center. Down here we see the supplier price for the outside service, and the supplier unit of measure. If the supplier processes the item in a different unit of measure than the stocking unit of measure, the conversion multiplier is used to translate the supplier price into an estimated cost. The days to next is the lead time for this process. Traveler notes flow through to the job traveler for in-house reference. PO notes flow through to the subcontract purchase order and provide the supplier with processing instructions. Jobs for the painted wagon body are generated by MRP. Here we see our item in the MRP settings screen. We see that the painted wagon body has a job days allocation of 5, which is the lead time for the painting process. And here we see that it has a to-order policy, which means that whenever new demand from higher-level jobs materializes, a job will be generated. Here, MRP has generated a planned job for the painted wagon body. We select the OK button and click Convert to generate the actual job. The job is released to live production in the Job Control panel. Here in the Release Job screen, we see our job for the painted wagon body. Here in the Material field, Available indicates that job components are on hand and allocated to this job. We can drill down to the Material Allocation Inquiry, where we see that the unpainted wagon body is available for this job. We check Release and click Update to release the job. Whenever a set of jobs is released, you are prompted to print job travelers. Some jobs may include a blend of in-house and subcontract routing sequences, in which case the job traveler documents the in-house processes. The job is now released and eligible for production. Purchase orders for subcontract services are generated just in time in the job subcontracting screen. A ready status indicates that this subcontract sequence is ready for processing. The Material field indicates that materials have not yet been issued to accompany the purchase order. Click the Material icon to launch the Job Issue screen. Here we see the unpainted wagon bodies that must be sent out to the subcontractor. Click the Prefill button to issue the materials. After the transaction is processed, you can print a dispatch list, which can accompany the purchase order as a list of included materials. Back here in the Job Subcontracting screen, we see that the material has been issued. To generate the purchase order, select the Convert checkbox, then click the Convert and Print button. Here we see the printed purchase order. The PO indicates that we are purchasing a service. Here we see that the PO notes defined in the BOM routing flowed through to the purchase order to provide the supplier with process documentation. The purchase order and materials are now physically sent to the supplier for processing. Purchase orders in progress can be monitored in the PO schedule screen. Select this option in the upper panel to display subcontract purchase orders. Here we see our purchase order, and here is its due date. A days past due value indicates a late purchase order, in which case you may wish to contact the supplier to get an expected delivery date. When the processed items come back from the supplier, they are received in the PO receipt screen. Receiving the items closes out the job sequence and updates the job cost with the cost of the subcontract service. Now that processing is completed, the painted wagon body can be received to inventory so that it is available for issuing to higher level jobs. Here we are looking at the job receipt screen. The receipt quantity is entered here. The program calculates a unit cost that offsets accumulated job costs. We click Update to process the transaction. Here on the job cost report, we see the cost of the subcontract service and the cost of the materials. As you have seen, job subcontracting is optimized for just-in-time manufacturing and gives you complete control over BOM specifications, planning settings, job generation, and job and PO processing.